Okay, so now let's make it so that users can actually log in and sign up for our site from our actual site and not the admin. And to do this, we're going to use Django Allauth, which is a great package. Django has its built-in authentication, but Django Allauth provides a lot more functionality out of the box. And you can add social login and things like that. And you can make it so that you log in with an email instead of a username, things like that. And it's best for authentication and authorization just to let a third-party package handle that because it's pretty complex. So to get started, make sure that your server is not running because we're going to have to install this package. And for this whole kind of tutorial, I'm going to be following along with the documentation here. So Django Allauth docs, and it's pretty simple. The first thing we're going to do is just install the package. So we can just copy this and then paste that in there and pip install Django-Allauth. Perfect. So that installed. We can clear the terminal and then we can go back and then we need to update our settings.py file. So the first thing we need to do is they want us to check their templates that we have Django.template context processors request. And I believe we do. So if we come back over to our settings.py file in our project folder, we scroll up to templates and we have right here Django template context processors request. Next thing they want us to do is add this authentications backends. So we can just copy this and come down right below templates and paste that in and remove these little periods, these dots. And I believe that should be good, so save that. And if we go back to the documentation, it wants you to add some installed apps. So we're going to basically need these four right here. The sites, Allauth.account, and Allauth.social account. And then these all are the specific providers if you wanted to have social login. But we're not going to use that right now. So we also need Django.contrib.sites. And .auth and .messages we already have, as you'll see in a second. So if we come back up to our installed apps, we already have auth and messages. We can paste in Django.contrib.sites and say this is all auth. Perfect. So that's the installed apps. And then we also have to provide the site ID equals 1. But I'm also going to specify some other config settings basically in our project. So if we go all the way down to the bottom, I'm going to paste in some settings here. So we have, we already have the auth user model, so we don't need that. But we have login redirect URL. Basically, where do they go after a user logs in? And we'll take them to the Freelancer -list. So you can pass in a URL name here. And then we'll say account logout redirect. So where do they go after they log out? And again, we'll say Freelancer -list, basically that homepage. Account username required is false. So we're not going to have you sign up with a username. It will be account authentication method will be email. That's a more common kind of sign up flow, enter your email. Account email required true. So the email will be required, and account unique email true. So the emails will be unique. And then I set this email backend just to be a console for now. So when we sign up, if we wanted to have somebody confirm their email, it would just display in the console. And then site ID equals 1, which is required. And the final step, if we look at the docs, is to add the path to these different routes. So we just copy this right here and go back to our project URLs, and we can just paste this right here. So at the accounts / route, it will include allauth.urls, and then we can go ahead and migrate our database. So Python manage.py migrate, and it applied these changes. Perfect. Just go ahead and make sure everything still runs. Run the server and pull up the website and go to home, go to the developer page. Perfect. Now none of these work yet, and we still have to do a few things before the sign in and sign up will work. And right now there is templates for logging in and signing up. So if we go to /accounts/login, then we do see this login page, and this is kind of default with Django Allauth, and it looks pretty crappy, so we're going to make it a little bit prettier. And you can also have sign up, and again it looks kind of plain, so we'll make it look a little bit nicer. But you get a bunch out of the box with this app. But you get a lot out of the box with Django Allauth, as you can tell. You already have these sign up and login pages, and you get a lot out of the box with Django Allauth. That's why it's a really nice package. So you get the sign up pages and login. But now let's go ahead and make them look a little better. So the first thing we're going to do is hop back into our settings, and under our templates, we want to update this DIRs so that we can make these template in a top level folder, and Django will know to look. Right now it's looking within each app for the templates, but we just want to say we're going to make a template folder at the project level. So we say string base dir.join path, and then we just say templates. So now it will look for a templates folder just at the project level. And we also want to update one of our settings. Let's just add account session remember equals true. So it just remembers you if you log in and you come back to the site, it'll keep you logged in. And now let's go ahead and make the login and sign up templates. So we can override those by going into our project, creating a new file and saying templates/account/login.html. Or I guess we can do signup.html first. Signup.html, and be careful because this is account singular. Then we can just paste in some HTML here, and again it extends that base file in the jobs app, and then we have our content and end block content for what we want to display, and we will have a h1 sign up and then the actual form, and we'll just display it as P for now. And so now we can go back and make sure the server's still running and see what this looks like. So it's our sign up page, and you can see that we overrode the template. It doesn't look that good yet, and we could go in and render each field and kind of style it with Tailwind. But there's this awesome package called Crispy Forms, and they have another package and kind of template pack that lets you use Tailwind CSS. And so they make it really easy to style forms without having to go through and render the form in the HTML. So we'll go ahead and get that set up next. So again, for this Crispy Forms package, I'm just going to be following the documentation. And so all we have to do is pip install Django Crispy Forms. So we'll copy that. Go back to our code, make sure the server is not running, paste in that code and install Django Crispy Forms. Perfect. Then the next thing to do is add it to our installed apps. So copy that, go back to our code, back to settings, scroll up to the top, and then under third-party apps, we can paste that in. And then we need to set up a template pack. And so like I was saying, there's different template packs that you can use depending on what CSS framework you want to use, like Bootstrap, Uniform, Foundation. Tailwind is available through Crispy Tailwind, which is another package. I already have that pulled up right here, so we'll just get this set up as well. So we just have to pip install Crispy package, Crispy Tailwind. So come back to our code, pip install Crispy Tailwind. And then the next thing we need to do is add this to our installed apps as well, Crispy Tailwind. So we'll just pop that right below Crispy Forms. Save that, and then we need to specify these template packs as Tailwind. So we'll just go to the very bottom and say kind of Crispy Forms, paste those in like that. And now to actually use them, we can go back to our template account signup.html. Then all we have to do is where we extend from the base, we just have to load in another tag. So we'll say load Tailwind_filters. And then instead of rendering the form as a P, we can just use this filter and say crispy. Then we can actually just add some styling directly to this button. So I'm just adding some padding, white text, background, and some hover characteristics. Then I'm also going to add a little paragraph below the form is some text in case they don't want to sign up if they already have an account. Then we could say account_login to access the login page. And we could say login here. Perfect. So now if we go back and look at our signup page and make sure our server is running, boom, we can see that the form is much better styled, and that was super easy. So now let's do the same thing for the login page. And so to do this, we're just going to create another file here. We're going to call this login.html. We're just going to copy over the signup.html because it's going to be super similar. Paste it in. This will say login. Here value will be login. This will say don't have an account, sign up here. That will go to account/sign up. And we can make sure their server is running and test this out. So we can go back, already have an account login here. Beautiful, we see login, don't have an account sign up. And let's add a little bit of space below the sign up and login menu up at the top. So here we'll add a little margin Y of 4 and save that. And then we'll just add a bit of margin here as well. Margin Y 4. So that'll give some margin to the top and bottom. And if we refresh this, it looks. So right now we can't get to these pages because we don't have the navigation set up. So let's update our base.html file to actually link to the sign in and sign up pages. So let's go back to the code, go back to jobs, go back to templates, base.html, and then we can actually replace this nav here, which right now just renders these sign in and sign up buttons. and we can replace them with some logic based on if the user is logged in or not. So basically we'll say if the user is authenticated, then show their email and give them a form that lets them log out. Otherwise, show them the sign in and sign up buttons and use the correct URLs to point them to the correct page. So if we save this and go back to our website and go back home, go to sign in and go to sign up. And if we did sign in, if I can remember what the correct email and password are, the email address and our password are not correct. Let's see if I can actually get the correct. Beautiful. So now I logged in finally, and we can see the logged in user's email and this log out button. If we click log out, then we're logged out and we could see sign in and sign up. Amazing. So now it's styled a little bit better, and all of this authentication was handled very easily with Django Allauth and the forms with Crispy Forms. And in the next video, we'll make it so that after a user signs up, they are prompted to create a Freelancer account or a business account. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. I really appreciate it. Subscribe so that you don't miss out on the next videos. And if you have any feedback or thoughts, please leave a comment. I'll see you in the next video.